Hello, day 2 of the 25-year journey. Thanks so much for joining me on the first video. I got a lot of messages, encouraging messages, telling me how good the video was and the content that I provided. So I thought, awesome, that really felt good. It's motivating for me to do it again today. And I don't know how many I'm going to be doing, if I'm going to do every single day or a couple times a week, but what you guys tell me is going to really help decide that. So I asked a question. I said, hey, is there anything that you want to know about this journey that might help you? And Ivy Hill actually made a comment on the video, and she asked, and I encourage you all to comment below because I want to hear what you're saying, hear what you're looking for, and I'll see if I can help you out. But Ivy was asking, what's the process, the creative process like of particularly the shoe? But I think for everyone, everyone can benefit from learning what the process of just when you're making a transition in your life, or you want to do something new. And then later on, I can get into the actual shoe itself, like that journey of discovering that I was going to make a shoe, and then how was I going to make a shoe? Like, what was the design process like, kind of thing. So for this video, I want to talk about who this could be helpful for, and I want to talk about the early stage, how to set things up so you can discover what's kind of next for you. So who is this for? It's not just for the person who wants to start a whole new business or something like that, although that is one of them. But let's start off with, you might have a job and you like it and you don't really want to quit it and change it, but you want to try something new in your life. You want to maybe get a new hobby or something like that. Maybe you have too many options. Maybe you have too many interests and you don't really know which one to choose because you have a limited amount of time, and you want to make sure that you're going to get, you're going to put your time into something that you're going to like. Okay. And as you may know, if you're going to try to learn piano, let's say, like I did when I was 20 for like 3 months, not even, I don't think, I was like, wow, this is a lot of work. So, anything you're going to want to do, it's going to take work if you want to get good at it or whatever, right? Or even if it's just leisure, there's a lot of work to set things up. So you want to kind of think things through and decide, well, what do I really want to do? This could help you with that. Although that's kind of on the, this might be a bit overkill for that, but it'll be helpful. Then there's the next stage, which is next level, what might be you have a job, but, and you don't like it, and you're really considering what else you might want to do, right? Maybe you want to get into another career, you might want to start another business, but you're you don't know what it is. You know there needs to be change, but you don't know what. This is definitely for you. The next situation is you have a business and you're just not really being fulfilled from it anymore. And this is what happened to me about 4 years ago. I like my business, I still work in that business, but it didn't have as much of the fulfillment as it did in my 20s, right? So this is what got me to think, well, what else do I want to, what else could I do? This is definitely for you if these are the kind of thoughts that you're having. And it feels like this, I call it the inner monster. It's it starts knocking on your door, hey, I kind of think we should think about something else. And you're like, no, this is fine, this is good. And you try to work, because it's uncomfortable, right? To have to make changes and all that. So it gets louder and louder. And so I encourage you to just at least listen to it. And and then the other one is just where you just know you want to start a new business, but you don't really know, or get a new job or whatever. Or maybe you got fired, or maybe COVID got, had you lose your job or something like that, and you have to do something new. This is definitely for you too. Okay, so now that we got that covered, let's talk about the first steps on how to discover what's next for you. So I'll call it the creative process. So a huge thing that I did, and I'm aware that I'm very fortunate to be able to be in this situation to do this, but you can have your own version for sure. Is to create space in your life So for you, that might mean mental space, emotional space, physical space, time space. These are all the different kind of areas of space that I'm talking about here. Ideally, all of them, right? I was very fortunate to get all of those. I was very fortunate. Looking back, like that's awesome, and I don't feel bad if you can't get all 4 of those, right? Like if you could just get 1 of them, that's definitely better than 0, right? So you want to shoot for as many of those as you can by creating space. So what's an example? I'll tell you what I did. So I still have a marketing business, and at the time I had several clients, and I said, hey guys, I want to be able to be available for you on Mondays and Tuesdays only. And again, I was fortunate to be able to do that, so I'm not expecting you to put 5 days a week towards this, but for me, it was such a big deal for me that I knew I needed this time and space. So what's your version of that? Like, can you create like 1 hour a week? Can you create half an hour a week? Can you create a whole afternoon? Can you create a whole day? And by create, I mean like, can you block it out with no distractions or very little distractions? What works for you in your life, right? What's your version of that? Mentally, I think just by creating that space, mentally it's going to help. But you want to kind of prepare for this like phase that you're going to put yourself through. So I would look at it like a 4-week process. It could be 2 weeks, could be 6 weeks, but you want to look at it like, don't think it's just like this one-time session that you're going to do and you're like, oh, I want to do this thing. No, it's a process, and we'll get into that in the next videos. I don't think I'm going to cover everything in this one because there's quite a bit of stuff. So the first thing really is clear out space in those 4 categories that I mentioned: mental, emotional, physical space, and time space. And then the next piece to this is to actually set the time and schedule it. So I worked with I was a coach for a lady who asked me to help her with this she was in this exact situation. She was in a job and she knew she needed to make a change, and she had these dreams and ideas of doing some things, but she really wasn't sure, and she wasn't sure if she could and all that. And so I took her through this exact journey that I'm sharing with you, and it was like incredible. I was shocked at how well it worked for her, because I just did it for myself. I didn't really, I picked these kind of ideas up from all the different stuff I've read and people I've been around and courses I've taken and all that over the years. But I kind of like made it my own, and I just kind of used my own intuition as far as like, what do I need to be able to get into this space? The creative process is not something that's like a numbers game. This isn't something that you can achieve. It's something that you actually have to like let happen. You can think about like artists, a musician. He or she might go to their little ranch or something for like a few months and then write their album. Or a writer might have to go, to the cabin and, that kind of thing, right? You don't force this stuff. It's something that's within you that kind of emerges, but our jobs are to give it the space that it needs to kind of live and breathe, you know what I mean? So it's difficult in our society, right? Because we're like in this, machine, and it's hard to like step out. But to make big decisions in your life, you need to, like, it's very difficult to like be in the zone every single day and the same routines and all that, and then you're expected to kind of see outside of that. Well, it's difficult. So this is the kind of prep work that we have to do to allow this creative process to kind of happen. Okay, so let's see. I've got some notes here. Yeah, you know what? Let's leave it at that. Clear out the space in your life and choose a time that you can commit to, and think of it as like a 4-week period-ish. Okay, I think that's like plenty for you to think about if this is something that you're going through. And then stay tuned for the next video. And below in the comments, let me know what you, if you have any questions at all, and let me know the progress that you've made in this one little step. Kind of a big step, but it's simple, right? All right. Good luck. Let me know. I'm looking forward to it.